Oh boy, the time for waiting is over. The Flash Utility Proposal is right here. And I'm about to tell you everything about this since we have been waiting for this for months. And in this video, I'm going to explain this simply to you guys. I'm not going to make this very long. All the things you need to know about the Flash Utility Proposal will be in this video. What is going on, everybody? It's King Karan with another Flare content for you guys. And first, before I'm going to dive in, you all need to know that this proposal is this long. Let me show you over here. It's a long proposal. I'm not going to read everything for you guys as I've studied this already since it got released a couple hours ago. And right now, I'm just going to present to you the most important things that you really need to know. So, first of all, what is FIP 16? Well, it's a utility proposal that has been proposed by Hugo Filion to increase FLR's utility. And it changes how FLR actually gains value. And it also reduces the inflation. Because first we had the flare drops, and that was over, and that decreased inflation. But now with this proposal, it's going to reduce inflation radically, like what Hugo is actually saying. Because when I was reading that proposal, I found out that, yeah, this really fits with this proposal, as I will tell you everything about this. So it reduces inflation, it increases actually the burn pressure, because I will tell you very soon how big this is, and I didn't expect it to be increased that much, but I will tell you this later on. But the main thing about this is that it actually introduces fire, because fire is actually flare income reinvestment pools. And what this actually is, it's a brand new thing that they come up with. Well, it's a system that actually collects money from the network. So then it uses that money to strengthen FLR even more. So it actually gives more utility to FLR, and it also burns FLR. So it will also collect revenue, obviously, and it comes from F assets like FXRP, also soon to be F Bitcoin, FXLM, F Litecoin, because this system will also be implemented to a lot of other F assets. So it will take the revenue from F assets, right? Just like FXRP. It will take revenue from even data request and also even protocol fees. But the most important thing is that it actually takes it from MEV. So what is MEV actually? MEV is actually revenue that validators pick from a certain price point. Let's say someone is buying FLR and the price feed is coming in, and they can actually use that to make some profits with that. But actually, now Fire is going to take that revenue and it's eventually going to make sure that that comes back to FLR. So when revenue is going outside of the network, let's say people are selling, right? They're making revenue and they're selling. Fire is actually making sure that that will not happen. They will take that away, they will put it back into FLR, and that is actually what Fire is. So that is already a massive thing that they already introduced Fire, but that's not it, guys. Let's talk about the inflation that happens every single year, because first it was like around 10% in 2023, and then it got lowered to 7, and then it got lowered to 5, but now it will be lowered to 3%. And this is actually huge, because less inflation actually means that fewer new tokens are entering in the circulating supply, and the stronger it also is for long-term supply. So Flare is actually moving away from printing tokens in the long run, and then eventually it's going to move towards a real revenue. And this is a game changer. And let's talk about the gas fees, because I didn't even expect that the gas fees will be increased by this much. But guys, hear me out. The gas fees are going to increase by 20 times. 20 times, guys. So it's going from 60 guai all the way to 1200 guai. And as I show you a picture over here, and what does this all actually mean? What is guai? Well, it's kind of weird to say guai. I mean, I'm Dutch. I used to say gwai, but that's That's even weirder for English people, but let's just keep it with GUI. But GUI is actually a fraction of a transaction because I cannot say it goes from 0.0000 something into 0.000. Yeah, it's too much, right? So they use GUI. And it will go from 60 GUI to 1200 GUI. So actually, the gas will be increased, but the price of every transaction fee is still very low, as you can see over here. But it's still 20 times. That also means that the burnings is going to increase by 20 times, which is actually crazy because the transactions they stay very cheap, more FLR gets burnt, and the network usage even reduces the supply. But the fact that even increasing the gas fees of FLR by 20 times still makes it cheap compared to all of these other blockchains. That should actually tell you enough how superior Flare is. So let's talk about Fire, like I mentioned before, because it's going to capture the network's profits. So what is actually going to happen with this? I mean, first of all, this is the biggest upgrade that is happening right now because Fire will eventually capture even arbitrage profits, liquidation profits, and even block ordering profits. And normally you have these validators who also keep these profits. But now the network keeps it. Fire keeps it. And then it brings the value back to FLR. And also, staking becomes even more important in this proposal because Flare wants you to stake in order to lock your flares away out of the circulating supply. And we all know what will happen once more FLRs will be locked outside of the circulating supply. A supply shock will occur, and that's what they are aiming for, right? Staking becomes even more important now because there are a lot of changes happening with this proposal. Because P-chain staking, like you're staking to a validator, it becomes stronger than just a simple delegation, right? And there were some people wondering where I'm staking and delegating. Well, I'm staking and delegating to Price Crack, and I've been doing that since 6 months, ever since I've discovered that when I was delegating to another provider, it was way lower, and I didn't even look at the percentages at all. I mean, I thought that provider would probably do good because that had a lot of credibility, but turns out the percentages are very different. So I'm glad to stake and delegate still to Price Kraken. So in case you're wondering, validators become more important, way more than before. And the network security even increases. And deeper participation and real commitment to the network will even get rewarded more. So there will be a lot more benefits for the stakers, for the long-term people who would like to lock their FLRs away. And also the thing with this is that the fees will be increased by 20%. And I know you have people out there who have been staking for 15%, for 10%, but you need to know that Flare is here to make sure that everybody is here for the long run. So that 20% fee might be a little bit more compared to what you used to do with staking, let's say 15% or 10%. But because of this, we will have more long-term stakers, which is very important. So why is this big for Flare? Let me tell you this once again. It's lowering inflation. It's burning FLR at 20x and even more because they have been mentioning that the burning rate that they are going to apply, like that 20 times, is going to happen obviously when there is no growth from now. But there will be crazy growth. So the burning will be even more because they have calculated it from the growth that is happening right now. So imagine when the growth will be massive, will be bigger. F assets, FXRP being 5 billion, just like what Hugo was saying in 2026. I mean, we also have FBTC. So this growth will not be like this. This growth will be like this. So that means that there will be even more burnings than that 20x. So high burn pressure, you have network revenue, MEV capture, which is a really good thing because they normally take that and they cash that out, but that's not going to happen because Fire is going to take it and it's going to put it back into FLR, which is a really good thing. So this is a completely different model what is happening right now. This is not just another small thing that they adjust. This is literally a rebrand of FLR. And this even makes me more exciting because they are pushing for Flare to be really valuable. Like in the long run, and all of these little things that they attach to Flare, all of these little things that collects with it, with the growth of Flare, I mean this whole thing right now will compound from here. And this will actually increase Flare's utility by a mile. So let me show you this poster over here as I will look with you guys. This is a very important poster like I was talking about fire. As you can see above network activity, below that you have network earns. Everything comes to network earns. Then it goes to fire. Routes the value, it will reduce the supply and it secures the network. Stronger FLR, stronger flare. Then it goes to more trust, capital, and builders. And then it goes to more network activity. And that goes back. And everything eventually goes back to fire, which is crazy because I've never thought about a mechanism like this. I thought this proposal would probably be like, yeah, increase the burning by 10x or 5x or do some little things here and there. But this fire thing is actually massive because it's going to eat up a lot of other revenues and it's going to bring it back to FLR. And I will show you an article right here from Flare. They have released this right after the FLR Utility Proposal. This is very important for you guys to know. So let's go. This proposal is designed to generate far stronger economic transmission between growing activity on Flare network and the FLR token. It cuts inflation from 5% to 3%, introduces protocol level MEV capture, like I mentioned about Fire, and routes a broader set of network revenues through Fire towards supply reduction and further ecosystem growth. More than 150 million FXRP is already in circulation, with roughly 85% deployed across DeFi. The objective is simple: turn network activity into an economic flywheel that compounds back into Flare. Like I said, look at the TVL. Everything has been growing even ever since the crypto market has been crashing since October, right? FS had launched in September and the TVL has been growing ever since. So the demand is there and Flare is about to eat a portion of that. So let's continue. The missing link between XRP-Fi activity and FLR economics. Making FSS more usable and capital efficient, reduce the role of FLR in the ecosystem and weaken the link between network activity and FLR economics. Under the early design, FLR would have been locked up as collateral to support F asset creation and operation. In return, it would have earned fees from minting and redemption. The problem is that bridge activity at scale is usually low frequency. Once assets are minted, they tend to stay in circulation, so minting and redemption volume are small relative to the total size of the bridge. That means the fees earned on locked FLR would also have been small as a percentage return. Inflation would still have been needed to secure the network, and asset bridge fees would not even been available to offset inflation because they would have had to go to FLR collateral providers as compensation for locking up their capital. There was a second problem. Requiring large amounts of FLR to be locked as collateral would have made the system less capital efficient and created drag on ecosystem growth, which is actually true. I've not even thought about that. That would likely have limited activity across other Flare protocols, which in turn would have limited both utility and the fee growth of the network. In other words, the old linkage between FLR and FAsset existed, but it was narrow. It depended mainly on locking up large amounts of FLR to earn relatively small bridge fees while still relying on inflation for network security. This proposal is designed to create a stronger and more direct connection between FLR token economics and real ecosystem activity by reducing inflation, increasing burn, and capturing a broader set of network revenues. That includes revenues from FLARE's data protocols, assets, FLARE smart accounts, FLARE confidential compute, FCC, and MEV. The proposal also redirects more rewards towards P-Chain, the staking rewards from the validators, staking, and introduces a minimum infrastructure provider revenue share to support network stability. Last page, guys, stay with me. FLR ecosystem flywheel. This proposal is designed around a simple idea. Network growth should not just happen on Flare, it should compound back into Flare. Activity creates fees and protocol revenues. Those revenues can reduce supply, strengthen the network, and that's what Fire is doing, and support further growth. Stronger network economics can then attract more trust, more liquidity, and more participation, which in turn drives more activity. As you can see the poster here, like I showed you. So this was an article I really wanted to show you guys because they're mentioning collateral and they're actually explaining why they're not going with that model. And I hope that this is clear for everybody because this proposal right now makes it even better with that Fire thing that is going to eat up all of these revenues and taking it back to FLR and making sure that FLR also benefits from this big time shows you enough that Hugo has really thought about this. It's not just something like, oh yeah, the collateral rate is this amount, let us just increase that. That's it. All right, and let's just increase burning by 5x. Let us just increase little things, and that's the proposal. No, Hugo really thought about this, and he knew that we have to put in something in order to collect all the revenue and make sure that FLR benefits from it by Fire, which actually burns FLR and actually gives more utility to FLR. So this is actually a great thing that Hugo did, and this is actually something that I didn't even expect that there will be a mechanism like that in the system, and also them pushing people to stake with that higher fee because obviously you want long-term holders. You don't want people to just stake for a couple of weeks and sell all these other things to make sure that more sell pressure happens on Flare. You want long-term holders. You want all of these people who believe in Flare. And the more people we have like that, the better it is for the ecosystem. So I'm very bullish on Flare, even more than before, because I thought that this would just be some increasements here and there. But then it turns out that a whole rebrand is already going to occur for FLR, which is just going to be even bigger than I thought, actually. So then you're asking yourself, when is this going to be implemented, right? First, we have the notice period for people to check, to read, to ask questions. That starts from April 9th. So actually today, but this video will be posted on another day, all the way to 16th of April. And then from 17th of April all the way to 24th of April, we will have the voting period. And after that, it's just go time. After that voting round, after April 24th, yeah. But there's also something you really need to know is that these things do take time if it comes to certain things that they need to implement, right? There are certain things that can be done right after April 24th, but there are also some things that needs to be built, that needs to be tested. So it might take some weeks or some months before even the massive things will be in fully effect. So that's really something you really need to know about. So this was FLR's utility proposal, as we have been waiting for this for months. And man, I'm genuinely very excited about this, man. This will definitely change the game for FLR for once and for all. And even the biggest thing I'm excited about is we're just getting started. I mean, look at Flare's price, 0.007 and a half. You really think that this will be here forever? We already have a remodel of FLR, increasing of demand in Flare's TVL. We already see a lot of usage. That's already a fact. People can already see that, right? The facts are in the data. And then we have FLR's token sitting at the bottom with this new proposal. And the market sentiment going to turn on bullish, man. I mean, you tell me what is going to happen with Flare. You tell me in the comments. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this content. Make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to put something down below. Let me know what you think about this video, and let me also know what you think about this proposal. And I'll see you guys next time.